Chisholm Trail, the newest addition to EMS ISD, has installed 3 energy-efficient wind turbines. David, the president of Willow Creek Incorporated, and his team are the men behind this project. This saves energy and money for the district, and which has a direct effect on the students.
Good morning, my name is David Flory. I serve as the president of Willow Creek Incorporated, which we have a division. Willow Creek Renewable Energy are here today to begin the process of installing some wind turbines for the Chisholm Trail High School. We are installing 3 SkyStream 3.7 units manufactured by Southwest Wind Power that will be installed in this field behind us. The location happens to be next to a lake, which tends to create more wind for us to utilize and capture with the wind turbines. The units themselves will average about 300 kilowatt hours of production per month on annual average. We have historical data that goes back about 2 years to back that up, although the manufacturer states it will produce a little bit more than that. That's comfortable, conservative numbers that we can use. Today we start the process by drilling the piers with a unit that drills a large hole that will go down to the earth, and we put steel inside it to reinforce the concrete. Once we have our inspections this afternoon approved, then we'll pour concrete tomorrow. This will set up for about 28 days, and then we'll be back to install the units.
EMS ISD was awarded $50,000 as a grant to install 3 wind turbines at Chisholm Trail High School, which saves the school $81 to $972 a year, depending on the wind. With more money being saved, more money can be spent on education.
I've done a lot of research in the last 3 years on green facilities, and part of that is to try to find alternate energy sources. And so I visited a number of buildings in Dallas-Fort Worth and even out of the city to look at the use of alternative energy such as solar, wind, the way to decrease evaporation on irrigation systems. And this specific thing I've seen in a few different applications in Dallas-Fort Worth, including in Irving ISD, where they have what's called a net zero building, where they try to bring in as much energy as they, in terms of alternate sources, as they expend in terms of electricity. So I'd heard about wind turbines and how that's provide some alternative energy, and also we had an opportunity through something called a SECO grant to provide a grant of about $50,000 to be able to offset the cost of the wind turbines. And in the particular building, we have in the Hollenstein Career and Technical Center and Chisholm Trail High School both have geothermal systems for the air conditioning heating, which is a very efficient system that decreases the energy expenditures and is greatly more efficient than buildings that we've built without them. And so we were looking at a number of ways to make these buildings more efficient, and wind turbines was an option. The second was that actually an opportunity through a grant that we could have. And SECO providing a $50,000 grant greatly decreased the cost, and so it made it feasible. You're always looking at something called ROI, or return on investment, and you have to analyze that feature, because if it takes you 20 years to recoup the funds and then you're ready for another wind turbine, then you're really not saving anything. In our case, we're able to have a return on investment in a very short period of time. The third option, and something that we will employ here in our school district, and particularly at Chisholm Trail, is energy education. And so there'll be communication panels in the school in order to demonstrate how much energy is being saved or recouped by the wind turbines. A lot of people are hearing about solar energy and about wind energy. In our immediate area, there's several homes in our area that have wind turbines in more rural areas, and then there's also wind farms in West Texas. And so this is an opportunity for people to learn about that, because renewable energy sources are the future. We actually looked into wind turbines, and we actually looked at solar energy cells. And I think a lot of districts are looking at it. It's more difficult to do as a renovation. It's easier to do when you're because there's a great deal of cost and renovation and retrofit. However, when you're building a building, it's just choices you make as you do it. For example, in Chisholm Trail High School, a lot of people don't realize this, but the great majority of the irrigation is underground. I'm talking about there's no heads, there's no water heads that sprinkle. There actually distributes the water underground. And the purpose for that is a lot of water evaporates before it hits the grass. And so in this way, it's actually watering the grass from underneath, which increasing our potential there for savings significantly. And also all of the water and all the properties for Hollenstein Career Technical Center and Chisholm Trail actually come from a Marine Creek Lake. And so there's a savings there too, because we're not using municipal water in order to water our grass. I think first, there's a lot of programs here that would be near impossible to duplicate at a high school campus. A high school is, in terms of size, be able to have programs as robust as we have here. That would be very difficult. And so I see a great enhancement to our school and also the flexibility in this building. There's a lot of opportunities for future programs. In fact, we're looking at an engineering program for this next school year. And that wouldn't be possible because every square foot of most high schools is allocated to something. In this case, we can alter and change, and we're flexible. And so there's a lot of flexibility in this facility. I think every school district that's building a new facility is assessing if they can reduce the overall energy expenditures. That is, energy expenses has gone up significantly in the last 5 years. And so we're having to look at every way we can save dollars. In addition, school districts have had to cut funding significantly. In this last year, we cut $8.5 million from our budget, even when we added 400 students. And as a result, we have to find ways to be more efficient. And energy is a perfect example because it doesn't mean cutting programs. It doesn't mean cutting opportunities. It simply means doing things more efficiently, whether it's managing light, managing irrigation, managing air conditioning systems, or whatever that may be. It helps us be a lot more efficient in what we do, which means that dollars stay in the classroom, not in just being used up on air conditioning systems. I think you have to look at every opportunity. In net zero schools that they're developing now, they're very interesting. I think they provide a lot, and those that have implemented those have been successful. You do have to do things differently. You have to really be conscientious about how much electrical usage you use, and that's something that most people probably don't do as easily. You know, they don't do it consciously. We're used to turning on a light and just not worrying about it, but we're having to be more thoughtful about that as we go forward.